Hi Terry, hi Kat, hi Paul, hi Joan, hi Barry. It's Friday again. God, that comes round quick, that does. Hi Rachel, hi Lynn. Not been a bad week for weather though, not much rain, which is a pleasant start. Apparently it's going to be quite warm at the weekend, so if anyone is going out, I'd probably take a bit of suntan cream if you're a bit pale because it's going to get pretty hot. Hi Darren, hi Steve, Casey Jones, Cheryl, good evening and welcome to everybody. So yes, it's Friday again. No sport. How you doing, Eleanor, Darren? Um, yeah, it's been a funny week. It's been a hectic week at work. I've got to admit. Waverley Magnets. Good evening to you. And now the weekend's approaching. Now, as the title says, how do they find the time? I would love to know how people find time because I don't seem to have time to do anything. Hi, Lynn. How you doing? Doing very well, thank you. There's just not enough hours in the day. There's many things I plan to do this week, but unfortunately, one thing led to another, and it doesn't happen. I'll be getting another testing video ready. I've done two videos this week. I'm still working on tomorrow's video, which I'm going to have to finish after this. So we're not going to be a long one tonight because I've still got a lot to do. I've got the testing video to get done as well. Hi, Craig. How are you doing? So I just don't know how you lot do it. We had a great day out on Sunday. We went and met Nick and we had a interesting day. Yes, a few nice finds. A little bit different. We had to work for it. It was definitely one of those places you had to work for, but it was still good to meet up with him and have a day out. But Tin Man, good evening to you as well. So, how do people do it? How do you manage your time? How come people seem to have more time than I do? Because I never seem to have time to do anything. I've got a good testing video coming. Should be Tuesday. Once I get it finished, should be Tuesday. Have a look, and there's some interesting things on there, and something that I think a lot of you on here will probably find quite useful. Once you put a testing video up, some of the stuff that people are offering, I won't be doing it. Believe me, some of the stuff I'm being offered, it's a little bit old. Let's put it that way. Some of the things I want things that I find interesting. Some of the stuff I'm being offered, I'm not really interested in. Been better, but it is what it is. I completely agree. You've just got to get on with it and do what you can. Workaholic, yeah, unfortunately, yeah, I think you're right there. By the time I get in, it's gone 11 o'clock most nights. It's just don't seem to have time, and I think that's staying up till 3 o'clock editing videos every day doesn't really help. To be honest with you, I've been busy too. I know, and I've kept you busy. Well, I have tomorrow as well. I need to speak to you about that. I'll speak to you after that, Terry. But yeah, there's just not enough hours in the day. One man, one magnet. Good evening to you as well. I hope you all enjoyed the video on Wednesday where Paul nearly lost Terry's magnet, which would have got him in a lot of trouble. How to not manage drugs. But as you can see, the boat behind me, that side, that's no, that side, flipping out, it's back to front, it's mirrored. Kingfisher 22, yes, that lovely gentleman on that boat did his best to help us. And I can't believe that all that straining and struggling and everything, and then Paul pulled it one way, and then he pulled it again, and it came straight off, which is unbelievable, to be honest with you, that you can actually be in a position like that and struggle like hell. I mean, we spent a good half hour trying to free that off. We tried from all angles before, and then the guy said, "Do you want to try on the boat?" So we give that a go as well, which we thought we'd got movement, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, we Paul got it back, so I think he managed to keep his kneecaps when he got home. I said to the wife, "I'm going that begging for forgiveness." Yeah, I saw your fire station video, Barry, and I was quite surprised because you was in the woods and you didn't walk into a tree. You obviously got some better directions. A bit of time off, and I'd love some time off. My boss, oh, he's a pain in the backside. Won't give me no time off. He did love it. He sat, and even after all the messing around with the magnet, he just sat on the end of his boat watching us. But yeah, cracking bloke. And he said he watches videos as well, which is always good. Always good when they say that. Graham Rogers, good evening to you too. Funny videos. Oh, is that on Facebook? Because if it is, I apologise. I've hardly been on there this week. I did put share a memory today though, because that did come off up. That it's 5 years ago today that I hit 1,000 subs. And as I was saying, things really have progressed since then. Never as an intention to even get 1,000. All I wanted was 100, but when we got to 100, it just kept going and going. And then it went a little bit crazy. And I mean, it was under 3 months, I believe, when we hit 1,000 subs. And back then, it was so much easier to do, to be honest with you. Now, it's a lot harder. It was so much easier to get views back then, and now it's a lot harder, unfortunately. But had good direction. I knew where you were going. You wouldn't jump in that pit, though, would you? With the water tank, definitely wouldn't want to do that. I'll do you so I haven't got a boss at the moment. You're welcome to, mate. Get on your bike, get down there. Your diary's fully booked for next week. Actually, it's overbooked, but that's quite normal. So, yeah, no problems at all, Craig. It's all yours. Yeah, I know. It's amazing. Because when I look back then, I think when I hit 1,000 subs, I was at about 100,000 views. And I think now we're at like 12.5 million, which is a crazy amount of people putting up with me for all that time. I mean, but it's just one of those things. It was something that started as a bit of fun, and it really progressed into something. And you were all here on a Friday night when you could be down the pub or going out for a nice meal, spending time with family. But yeah, you're all loyal. You all keep coming back. So thank you very much. Now it looks harmless, but that is full. You wouldn't think that if you stepped over there at night, would you? And you'd had a few beers. Love shopping. Hang on, Miss Flatty. You got me out shopping. Sunday to recover. Oh, you love a bit of shopping, Paul. You know you do. Yeah, hard work, and that's one thing it is. It's definitely hard work. Like I say, we've got like 18 hours of footage to go through each week, driving all over the country, working stupid hours. It is a lot to take on board. I did start a shorts channel about a year ago, and to be honest with you, I've just never had time to progress it. I'd love to actually have a day where I could just sit there and mess around on a computer, do things, but you just can't do it. There's just not enough hours in the day because, as we all know now, everything is so flipping expensive. As quick as you make money, they take it off you in tax. Everything's gone up, and it just makes things hard work. Last of its kind as well. Yeah, I did see that. I'm surprised you didn't jump the fence, though, Barry, and nip inside. Peter o'clock it is. Fair enough. What? It's Friday night. Why not? So yeah, I did see that, Barry. But yeah, jump over the fence next time. Jump over the fence. But yes, it's something different. A bit of urbexing. Definitely different for you. Hi, Roger. How are you doing? I did reply to your message. Probably a day late, but I did reply to it. Unfortunately, most things are a day late, unfortunately. But yeah, Roger's getting a special present in the post. I don't know how you manage that, Roger. I really don't. So yeah, Terry's sending him a gift. Still can't believe it, but that's Roger. If you don't ask, you don't get. I told her, Roger, actually, to completely dry it out like a crisp because it'd make it much lighter. Because bread pudding's so moist. If you dried it out more, it'd be cheaper to post. That's what I thought. I don't think she agreed. Jim and Sigrid, how are you doing? My pound belly. Why don't you take your lad with you, chuck him over the fence, and get him to do the filming? But that's something different, like you say, Barry. With you do your magnet fishing, you're doing a bit of exploring and that. So he's just mixing it up a bit. Hi, Corey. How are you doing? Get down these comments. Yeah, I saw that cat. I think he said he's going to do a really long walk. Now, you only walk to and from a place. It's like people that run. I don't understand that. You don't run for fun. You run when you're being chased, or whether you're late getting to the kebab shop when you've had a few beers. Eating it 2 minutes after opening it. Oh, God. Did it taste of onion by any chance? I know it's not supposed to be dry, but I was just thinking it's going to save you a fortune on postage. Hi, Graham. How you doing? Bumpkins Drones. Good evening to you as well. Well, you're off to Sunday. I need a day of fun after doing CPC tomorrow. That doesn't sound much fun, I've got to admit. Definitely. You know what? I can't even answer that question because we said we was going to plan ahead and get it all sorted early, and we still haven't picked a location. To be honest with you, we did have somewhere lined up, but that's we're not going to do that this week. But yeah, we did say we was going to find somewhere early, so we weren't messing around at last minute. But yeah, we will be messing around at last minute, so we don't have a clue where we're going. To be honest with you, haven't got a clue. Well, that's good, Barry. That's good. Sometimes it is one of those things where you want to try something a little bit different. If it doesn't work, then you make that decision. Do you carry on with it or not? But if it's working for you, then fine, go for it. Fair play to you. Should have posted it with the onions. Onion flavoured bread pudding, that would have been great. Hi Liz, how you doing? Stuart Fletcher, good evening to you as well. Don't think I've missed anyone. Take back my fishing. Did bin diving. It's because of doing it. Oh, that's not very good, is it? We used to do that dumpster diving in the 80s. We used to go to a place that was, we used to go about 5 miles on our push bikes. And we used to go to a company called Activision UK. Now, all you old people on here, which is most of you, will remember Activision. They were a very big games company, you know, for the Commodore and the Spectrum and things like that. Well, they were literally about 4.5 miles away from us. We used to go over there on a Sunday. We used to wait for the security guard to do his walk of the building. And when he went on the back, we used to jump in the skip and take all the games out. But yeah, Activision UK, that's when I did a bit of dumpster diving, but that was back in the 80s. So it will, yes, 100%. I'm doing good, thanks, Liz. Oh, yeah, that reminds me, I've got to go and pick up them stickers. Some new ones are all done, and I keep forgetting to go and get them. That's another thing, having time to do your own things like that. I need business cards for work, to be honest with you, and I've been trying to pick them up now for 7 months. So I suppose it's saving me money by not giving them away, but it's been a long time. Tony Hawk's Pro Skating was Activision. See, yet people do remember Activision. Put onions in it. No, she was posting both. I thought she was going to put them in the same box. Hi, Judy. How you doing? There we go. Remember Activision? Yeah, see. I knew the more mature people on the channel, like me, would remember it. I would say we're like a fine wine, but some people are not aging very well. I did have time for a phone call. Oh dear. Get them to send them to you. Nah. I'll nip in. I'll nip in. But even that, when I nip in, I know I'm going to end up doing a job there as well, and that's probably why I've steered clear of it. FK, good evening to you. Notifications coming up about something. But yes, Activision, they were good days. They were some of the games they brought out. I know they weren't Activision the one that did things like Jet Set Willy and things like that. Come on, where's the Spectrum owners? Oh no, I was a Commodore person myself, but I'm sure Activision. I think that was they did that Jet Set Willy. I did that. It's the only game really I really enjoyed on the Spectrum. It's the sound that used to be made in it. It was that sort of clicking sort of sound. vinegar. Brilliant. Oh dear. See, that's what I like about the people in here. We do have a laugh. We've got a similar sense of humour. We are the similar age. We don't appeal to the younger folk because they don't understand our humour. Because these days, I think 80s humour probably offends a lot of people, and I think that's probably why. Rena D, Paul Findon, good evening to you as well. Come on, somebody must remember if it was Activision that did that. Missile Attack and Baseball. That was one of them really annoying games. You remember the days where VIC 20, yes, I had a VIC 20, and then I changed a motherboard in it and it became a Commodore 64. It's still badged as a VIC 20. But the days of the old consoles where we all had like the joysticks that you used to get really angry with them because they used to have suction pads on there, and quite a few of them actually got broken. I think they were very weak. Either that or it was just too rough with them, and then you'd sort of punch the keyboard now. But yeah, the good old days when you used to get really angry with things like that. Snap your joystick. What was it? The Quick Shot Pro, and then they had an auto fire button on them as well, which made the games much easier. You suppose you could say it was cheating, but back in the day, I was an ASC for Commodore and Atari. Oh, so you've seen it all come and go and change then. Years ago, at a place we worked at, we used to buy and sell a lot of electrical goods. And after about 15 years of a lot of the Commodore 64s and that finished, my old boss bought about 80 Commodore 64 games consoles. They weren't the computers, they were actually the game console. Now, these things were brand new. And we used to take them to electronic shows and things like that and try and sell them. We had trouble selling them for a fiver. We couldn't really get a fiver for them. We got loads of them. We ended up skipping them all. In the end, they all went in the bin. And when you actually look at it now, what people pay for them, and to think that brand spanking new ones now, they'd fetch some stupid amounts of money. The Commodore 64, fantastic, the floppy disk drive. Yeah, they 1541 floppy disk drive. I remember it well. But yeah, so we chucked all these brand new games consoles away. We chucked away the Ataris. It wasn't the 2600, it was one that followed it. We had loads of this stuff, all brand new. Quicksilver joysticks. See, look, I'm bringing back all these terrible memories for everyone. Hi, Sean, how you doing? Well, I still have got, I did keep one thing from it. I have got a brand new sealed copy of Mrs. Pac-Man for the Atari 2600. It's still sealed, brand new. Blimey, how long I've been left? I left that place back in 97, I think. So I think mid 80s, I believe, for the Atari 2600. But I've still got a brand new game, still sealed up. And I did see a game the other day that went for some astronomical amount of money because it was still sealed up, and that went for about $30,000. And I'm like, really? Had the Amiga 500, yes, and the Amiga 2000. I think I went through most of it. I started with the VIC 20, I went to Commodore 64, went for the Commodore 16, and then we went to the Commodore Plus 4, then the Amiga 500, and then the Amiga 2000, which was the main brain for the chart show program that used to be shown on a Saturday morning. That was all done on the Amiga 2000. Yeah, I'm starting to sound really old now. Start with the Sega. Yeah, I had a Master System and a Mega Drive. I think I've had just about all the games consoles. I don't know what we've got now. I know they've got Xbox, whatever ones, and we've got the PS5 and the 4 and the 3, and I've got a 2 and a 1. I never play them. I just end up being the one that pays for them. Yep, Commodore 64 with tape deck. And I've still actually got, which I found in the roof when I was up there about 8 or 9 years ago, my backup board where you'd actually plug 2 tape decks into it. You'd press record on one and you'd press play on the other one. And as it loaded it into your computer, you got a backup copy of it. And I've still got my backup board as well. Any color in the 2000. The original Atari. Who remembers the Philips G7000? There we go. See if anyone remembers that. The Philips G7000. ZX81. I had an 81. You had to push them buttons so hard. And then there was ZX80 before it. Never owned an 80. I had an 81. You spend all that time typing a blooming game in or something from a magazine. And then you get syntax error on line such and such. And you should drive you absolutely mental. You enjoy your supper, Stuart. Lasserman, good evening to you as well. Yeah, I used to buy a lot of magazines. I used to go into the newsagents and used to say to the guy, put it on my mum's paper bill, she knows all about it. Every month she didn't know all about it, but she paid for it in the end. £14 dog on me lap. Unfortunately, that's the way it's got now. Pong, yes, the old Pong games. See, my daddy was a TV service engineer and he worked for the co-op back in the day, and the co-op obviously were massive into rental. And he used to go out to people's houses and fix all the TVs and that. When anything ever new came out in the electrical shop, they used to give them to the staff to take home and try them. And that's why we had like our first video recorder, I think, in about 1976. Because then after about 3 months, they'd get a new model and you'd have to bring that home and try them. So it used to work out all right. We used to get like Pong, and we got the light gun to go with it and that. It was good. See, like, I got you all talking about all these old things. That's one thing you never thought you'd come onto a fishing channel and talk about. So I've come 64, Atari 400, sitting on a few quid there now, FK. Such a cult following of all the old stuff. It's unbelievable. War Games, yes, I remember that one. Of course, we never copied games, Paul. It was purely to back your own up in case, it failed. No, I think in the US, I think you had Magnavox or Marantz. I think it was Marantz or Magnavox. They were the American version of Philips. I know Marantz because the stuff over here, the Marantz range, which we had, was only on the high-end products, the really, really expensive ones. But yeah, but the G7000 was Philips' version of the Atari 2600. And in all fairness, it was pretty good. And because my mum worked at the co-op as well, in the electrical shop, and my dad was a TV service engineer, every day after school I used to go in there and play all the games consoles. It was brilliant. We didn't have to get them all as such because I could just go in the shop and play them. Philips was the Laserdisc. They was the Laserdisc, yes. I had one of them. I do still have as well, which I think that's in the roof of the garage. I have a Philips CD 101 CD player, single CD player, and I don't know what it weighs, but it's flipping heavy. It's a die-cast framework in it. The quality of it is unbelievable. And they're actually fetching good money now. They're working. They are fetching some serious money because that's when things were built properly and it wasn't plastic. So yeah, been in the electrical trade all my life. Gone from like household products now to cars, but same sort of thing. People keep lumbering with electric cars to work on, which I don't really want to do, to be honest with you. 40 megabytes going, yeah, but we all remember that horrible noise it used to make when it was loading in. Still got a Game Boy and Tetris. Have you seen the price of some of them blooming games as well? The Pokemon games for the Game Boy and that. What they fetch? 150 quid each, some of them. It's unbelievable what people will pay for some of this stuff. Nothing wrong with that. It's a perfect job to have if you can get free toys for the kids. Wish we kept them again. Oh no, we all wish we kept things from the past, especially cars, especially cars, because when I actually look at some of the cars I actually scrapped, it's unbelievable. The thought that I had two Series 1 RS turbos in absolutely mint showroom condition, and I sold them both because I'd had them that long. I had one of them 11 years. I stripped it to a bare shell and rebuilt it. And what I just don't want to think what I got for it because I know what it's worth now. And the guy who had it off me just literally took it home and put it in his garage. It sat in my garage for 4 years without turning a wheel, and I just sold it to him, and he's done exactly the same. It's just he's 30 grand better off than I am, which really, really frustrates me. So, unfortunately, oh, you know, 5 1/4 inch discs, yeah. But that was the days they were nipping down with mates with a box of blank discs just to get a few things. But yeah, cars are something as well that you just wouldn't have expected would have gone to this situation now where anything 80s, even the early 90s now, they're becoming real hot cars with stupid amounts of money. Um, I've got my Mondeo ST, which I've had since 2005. I've still got that. That's garage now because you never know. That's going to be the next one because you know the Mark ones, the Mark twos, the threes, and the fours, and the fives now are starting to become collectible of the Escort. So I'm thinking to myself, got me Mondeo. Yes, it's a Mark two. We shall see. We shall see. I had plenty of use out of it. I got that car 14 months old, and I've still got it. And it's a 2004 one, so we shall see. We'll leave it in there another 20 years. It'll either be a pile of dust on the floor, or it might have gone up a bit. Got low mystical Pokemon grammar. Well, Lynn, if you look at the price of some of them, you're sitting on a blooming fortune, to be honest with you. Oh, the Aprilas, yeah. It's like the old Makos, they fetch silly money as well. Auric 1. Now, Sonic I haven't heard in a long time. It's not something. I saw a TikTok video the other day, and they was actually showing you the BBC Micro, and they were saying how much space it took on a computer to put a book on there, and then they showed what they call a medium-sized hard drive. It didn't look very medium to me, but then they went to a really big network one, and that really was big. And to think that your phone can hold probably 1,000 times more information than what those things were holding back then. I think that was 1982, and it was saying the future. I'm glad things shrunk a little bit. Let's put it that way. Is the Mondeo the V6 one? No, it's not. It's the ST TDCI 2.2. So yeah, not the V6 one. Yeah, mine's the later one. Mine is the Mondeo Estate. It's the 155 brake horse one, but it's like the half leather interior with all the DVD entertainment systems. And I've had it for years. And I've also got in there a limited edition V5 Beetle, which is a mad car. Really is a mad car. They only made 200 of them worldwide. I got it on a deal with a swap on something, and it's really scary. Believe me, Beetles should not do 130 mile an hour. They really shouldn't. You know, the power of that thing is unbelievable. The wheelbase is far too short. You put it into a roundabout too hard, floor it, and the back end just goes straight past you, and it's front wheel drive. And when that happens, it's pretty scary because you have no time to correct on it. Rocky Fish, good evening to you as well. Need a turban bikes and get up the hills better. Well, that bike that I got, that electric one, I've been playing around on it now. You can actually put it into moped mode, which makes it a lot more fun. Obviously, just for off road. That new Capri is ugly. That is not a Capri. But saying again, they brought out the Puma again, and really, no, the Puma's not the Puma that we remember. The Puma I remember is the one that's built on the Fiesta chassis, the 1.8 one. No, the 1.7 engined one. It was rapid for its what it was. No weight to it, and it was a fun car. But nah, new one definitely not. And not only that, it's electric. And who wants an electric car? Good evening, George. How are you doing? Yep, it is the V5 engine, Craig. It's the exact same engine in a Beetle. Um, and yeah, it's funny really because when you drive a Beetle, everybody wants to race a Beetle. They get a bit of a shock when they try and race that one because the acceleration on it is unbelievable. You just can't put cheap tyres on. But they only made 200 of them worldwide. It's two-tone Recaro leather interior, so not my first choice for a car, but it's one of those cars that is going to go up in value because they're so rare. I actually worked on my first Puma the other day, actually, a flood damage one. It's got a few issues like that, but yeah, I did actually work on the first one. Hadn't worked on one before, but I have done now. Hi Jess, how you doing? Mobile phone. I had my first mobile phone when I was 17. You used to have to carry three batteries with you, and that still wouldn't get you through the day. And if you had calls, it didn't last very long. Let's put it that way. But yeah, oh, there we go. The comments stopped. Started moving again. An original Mini over a new one any day. 100% LLR. I've worked on the old ones, they're fixable. I've worked on the new ones, they're just horrible. Horrible, and have lots of problems. Let's get in these comments again. But this is the same with all cars. All cars, modern day ones, they're just not built to last. 10-year life expectancy. And I had this conversation with someone yesterday that if you go back to the 80s and the 90s, you went to the scrapyard, you found these rusty old shells with good engines in them. You go to a scrapyard now, they've got cars in better condition than mine, but the engine's knackered or the electricals are playing up and they don't rot because cars are galvanised now. They only start rusting really when they've been sanded down to have bodywork done on them. Once you take that galvanising off, that's when they rust. But modern cars just don't rust until you take the galvanising off. What's the hang on, what's the worst car you've worked on? A 1913 Citroen. Get like find a payphone. Payphones, what are they? They're them things in Britain. All the payphones, you see, they don't have phones in them anymore. You find book swaps and seed swaps and defibrillators and coffee machines. So yeah, phone boxes over here. I can't remember the last time I actually saw a payphone. Hi Sarah, how are you doing? Magnet Steve, good evening to you as well. Who's shaking bacon? Shift 283. See, that's what I like about the Americans. You know, there's no rhyme or reason to why you put that engine in there. You do it just because you can, and that's what I like. Some of them, I mean, I do work on a few American classics. I have worked on a few modern American as well, but yeah, the Americans, if you've got an engine, it's going to fit. I know how it works. Hi, Stuart, how you doing? Trying to keep up with the comments. You're definitely keeping me busy tonight. Let's have a look. Yeah, coffee machine in a phone box. It's got, it's sort of like a custom machine, but it's actually inside there. You open that, you put your money, you get your coffee. Yeah, I've seen a phone box with a coffee machine in it. So, yeah, only in Britain. But why not? I suppose they're just sitting there. People want to keep them there because they like the style of them and things like that. And even they fetch stupid money as well. Um, yeah, people put anything. There's one I pass nearly every day, and it says book and seed swap. So yeah, you can just take books out, swap them for ones that are in there, and you can get yourself some seeds as well. You should change your own oil and spark plug. Fair play to you. That's another thing. I spoke to a guy that works for one of the biggest part suppliers in the UK, and it's been bought out by an American company. And when the guys come over and they said to him, like, I bet you don't know what your percentage is of trade to retail. And he said, I know exactly what it is. And he did, because he was always a numbers man. And I worked with him for 10 years, but it was all about numbers. And he said that, what was it, 87% of UK part sales are from the trade, and the rest is like from retail customers. And the guy said in America it's the opposite way round. They sell more retail than they do trade, because in America most people fix their own cars. So massive difference, complete end of the spectrum. Oh, I won't waste your time, Graham. It doesn't look anything like that. You couldn't imagine Bodie and Doyle in one of them, believe me. Yeah, the Mustangs, they are. They're not the Mustangs, but they are pretty good, to be honest with you. I hate when that happens, Lizzie. And when I'm doing live streams and water goes on the screen and it just goes lula, I couldn't end a live stream one day. Work for a phone company. I think my mother-in-law used to do that. You used to push the plugs in. Make it sound really old now, don't I? I'll just connect you. Move the plug. Yeah, there's lots of defibrillators in phone boxes, to be honest with you. Can't beat a good old clapped out 300k percent. Well, that one point. If yours is the 1.9 PD engine, I've seen one of them at over 650,000 miles, still running the original pistons and everything. The 1.9 PD, if you keep it well maintained, in all fairness, it's a brilliant engine. Unlike their modern day 1.6 one that just always breaks and expensive to repair. Mark 4 Golf, much better than the Mark 5. The Mark 4 was definitely the car to have. The Mark 5 came out, had years of problems, never got it right, so they brought out the Mark 6, which aren't a lot of the wrinkles out, but unfortunately, not all of them. Not all of them, but the 4s, I've seen them at massive miles as well. 66 Mustang was the first car at 14. And I bet you wish you still had it, George, as well. Everything fixed his and mine. Yeah, they do. The Americans want to fix their own. Over here, no, they just give it to a garage. You can't beat a good old Mark II Capri. Mark One was a little bit boxy in my opinion, but the Mark II Capri was definitely nice. That new one, that's Opel Manta. Yes, I worked on one of them about 3 weeks ago. That's a car you don't see very often. Exactly. Old stuff last. It was built to last. Is it that bad? Yeah, it is. When you look at that, you do not think Capri. No climbing trees and browsers in the phone lines. You tripped, Terry. You trip over your own shoes. Eco Boom. Nothing wrong with an Eco Boom engine. It's a 1.9 PD. Yeah, thought it would be. Didn't look after the first 5 years of owning it. The PD engine was good. That was probably their best engine they've ever done. No, I'm still saying Mark II, Graham. 3 litre Mark II. Granada or Sierra. Well, Granada's sort of like the Sweeney era, isn't it? Or the Sierra's more the early episodes of the Bill. 1970 VW Bug. Now a race. Well, I hope he's put a decent engine in because that's the one thing. Round by me, they have the thing called the Bug Jam, and that's at Santa Pod. It's the busiest week of the year for the RAC and the AA of all the cars going to Bug Jam because those things. I mean, I've known people to own them, and they always break down. Don't matter what you do, complete real build, absolutely mint, and it breaks down. Morris Oxford. Never worked on one of them. I can honestly say that. Marina, I owned one. It was the 1700 though, with the vinyl roof. So I suppose did have one of those, and a Fiat 126, and a 127, and a little sooty van. Stay with your Dodge. Aston Martin. Yeah, worked on one of them about 3 weeks ago. It was a newer one. No, not built to last. Horrible, horrible thing. Thing is with Aston Martins is very much a lot Lotus though. That somebody hands you the keys, and the first thing you look at and you go, it's a Ford Tibby key. And then you get into a Lotus and you go, oh look, it's got Corsa B indicator stalks on it. They're all sort of made up pieces of other cars. The Lotus had the Rover K Series engine in it, and it had the braking system from the MGF. A lot of these little sports cars are all made up of other cars, and that's the thing. Look at Lamborghini, right? You've got the Lamborghini, and you've got indicators on the wings. Now, those, if you buy from Lamborghini, you're like £280 each. But if you actually look closely to them, there's a little Ford badge on there. They're Mark 1 Focus indicators, which are £8 a pair off the internet. Makes you think, doesn't it? And that's a Lamborghini. Spectre Morse was a E-Type Jaguar. 1275 GTs, they were fun cars. Twin Weber, you can't beat a set of Twin Webers as long as you get them set up right. But also in that Lamborghini, the heater panel is £2,000 for the heater panel. Unless you go on eBay, search 2003 Rover 45 because it's the exact same heater panel and you can get them for 30 quid. So yeah, don't be fooled by all these new cars because these race cars, a lot of them are made up out of recycled parts from other cars. Mark 1 Fiesta, they're fetching good money now if you can find one because most of them rusted away, especially around the fuel cap. They were terrible for it. It was a magnet fishing channel, but everyone gets bored of magnet fishing, don't they? Yeah, I think it was an E-Type Jag. Classic film. You were only supposed to blow the doors off. The Italian Job. My favourite car is a Mark II Cortina. Yes, I had a Mark II Cortina. I had a 1600E, which I bought for £26 because that's all I had in my pocket. And it was, I only wanted it for the engine because I wanted the engine to go into my Mark II Escort. And we sort of drove it home, and when we were going up the hill, the bonnet flew up and went over the windscreen, so we had to pull that back down and tie the bonnet down. Then I tried doing a wheel spin out the junction at the top, and there was a big clunk. That was the chassis where it was rotten, and the axle broke free. So I literally drove it 4 miles with the axle fixed on one side. Interesting drive, but that's what you do when you're young and silly. Yeah, unfortunately, VW own far too much now. So, and Rolls Royce, I believe. Yeah, they own it all. They own it all. This is true. You never know what's coming out. And I think that's the thing with magnet fishing. That's the main thing that keeps everybody going. Everybody that does it understands that. When you get one thing and it's what's coming next. And it's always, always the buzz factor of what's coming next. Nothing wrong with cars. There is, though. Every blooming one that people ring me about is broken. So there's a lot wrong with cars. Yeah, Capri. See, Capri's everyone used to go on about the two light at the back end, the too twitchy. Try owning a Vauxhall Frenzer if you think a Capri's bad. I had one of them as well. The Vauxhall Frenzers, they were lethal. One night I went round into the high street because we always used to go round into, do laps of the town as you did back then to try and impress the girls. And I come round there and I put my foot in a little bit too hard, and the back went past me, and I bumped up the car up the curb, and I stopped 1 inch from Boots, the chemist's window. The problem is because I'd slipped in sideways, there wasn't really enough room to get out again. I had to do like a 80-point turn to actually get facing the way I wanted again, which caused a bit of a tailback actually. My friend did the same. He went around the corner a bit quick, but he didn't have rear wheel drive. And as he floored it, he went into Boots in his Metro. He actually went through the front doors and parked in the store. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I was a Mark II, not an E-Type. There we go. It shows that somebody actually watches Inspector Morse then. Sit in the naughty corner. Yeah, you do that. You tell him, Mum. Got Mark IV Escort Eclipse. That is the one car that I passed my driving test in. Was it the burgundy one or the blue one? Because it only came in 2 colours. There was nothing special about the car. They made these limited edition ones, and it was actually quite basic, apart from it had some stickers on it. Friends of mine bought a Ford Anglia Mark V. It was a Mark V Escort, but they called it the Escort Anglia. And it was a limited edition for the Anglia region. It was really basic. It had windy windows and everything. I think it's because everyone's poor around this area, and that's why. So yeah, Escort Eclipse, burgundy one. Barry Wright. That's it. That I passed my test in his car. Cars are made to break down. Cars are designed, when you look at them now, things are put in the most ridiculous of places. And I reckon that somebody sits in, design room, he designs it, always says where everything's going to go, makes it absolutely perfect. And someone comes along and thinks, no, that's too practical, that's going to work, that's going to last. Right, let's move it into where all the rain goes, because we know we'll get it out of the warranty period, because once the warranty's run out, it's their problem. And I think things are put in a wet place on purpose. I think the way the bulkheads are built, they're designed to actually clog up. They're designed to push water down the pollen filter through the heater motor into the airbags. I reckon they could get around all these things, but they don't. They do it on purpose. They do it because it's all about making money. Get it through the warranty period. If you have one or two come back during the warranty, well, that's one of them things. They'll have to fix them. But the majority of them won't fail for about 4 years. So, yeah, big conspiracy there. Really is. I know. I don't know about the auto transmission. I still like the stick, to be honest with you. It was nice when I come to America, actually, to drive around for 2 weeks with auto, I must admit. But I still like a good stick shift, as we call it. But power steering, yeah, it does make you think that how did we manage without power steering? Because all these young people, you see, they're getting one and say the steering's broke because now they've even got city buttons on them that make the steering so light you can use one finger. But no, power steering was definitely good. Yeah, no, no, I will stick to a normally aspirated engine rather than a big motor. I can tell you that. He's into classical music. No, it's just because you're an anorak and you didn't get out. Come on, let's be fair about it. Kawasaki hybrid. Now, hybrids, I'm sort of on the fence with. Hybrids are not so bad because you've still got the best of both worlds there. The mileage per gallon on a hybrid is actually really, really good. And when I had one for a week, it only cost £30 to fill it up. And I got a lot of miles out of that 30 quid because when you get it onto the motorway and stick the cruise control on and let the hybrid system work, it actually works really well. Don't encourage him, George. Don't encourage him. Yeah, the no power steering was always awkward when someone parked too close to you and you had to sort of go back and forth, back and forth. But now it's literally one finger. It's all made easy. You see, when my daughter she passed her test and the car she was in, it was all hill assist, anti-stall, all the things, all the gimmicks and that. Well, when I bought her a car, I wasn't going to get her one with all them fancy features, so she could actually learn to drive properly and not let the car do it all. And that is the problem now. The cars, I mean, even my van's got hill start on it. I mean, really, hill start on a van? But yeah, it's all like that now. Everything's about it. My car's got avoidance collision. It's got adaptive cruise control. It's got blind spot mirrors, overtaking. It's got white line detection and things like that. You're like, really, do we need all these things? And I think the problem is that if people learn in them, they're not going to appreciate if they get an older car that you've actually got to do some of the work. I mean, I've been in one of the Kias, the ones with drift compensation. If you drift over the white line without indicating, it actually turns you back again. I tell you what, you have to fight with some of them quite hard. You want to go over that white line. If you don't put your indicator on, that steering wheel's turning back on you, and he's going to push you back into the lane you've come from. And you have to give it a good sudden yank to actually disengage it. So, no, I think they're trying to be too clever, too clever. Arlene, good evening to you as well. Past the Peugeot 206, fetching good money now as well. The 206s, even the basic ones are. Well, you're here, George. That's all that matters. All that matters. Thank you for letting me on your live last week. Really enjoyed it. You love your hybrid. I don't know whether I'd want to own one because when they start playing up, they get expensive. Want a nice 70s, 80s car if you can find one that's not rotten because you're going to have no trouble with it. Yeah, that sort of is true, isn't it? I mean, right, to the American people on it, what is a quick car over there? Because, I mean, your cars accelerate like hell, but they don't seem to have the top speed. And I've been in a few American cars. I mean, oh, acceleration, I'm not knocking it. They really go. What's a car that actually got a good top speed in America? Come on, let's have a look. Evening, Andy. Come on. Johnny's Corner, good evening to you as well. Just scroll. Come on, I want to see the answer to this. What is a fast car? What goes quick in America? Not just 0 to 100. What goes past it well? Doing great, thanks. Hi, Carol, how are you doing? Right, come on. What's a quick car? Save the best till last, George. Save the best till last. Sorry, everyone. You know my humour. It's not good. Rebuilt 948 Ford pickup. But what sort of speed, you know? Because, I mean, do you have things like the RS8s over there? You know, we've got them over here, and, you know, those things are doing like 180 mile an hour. What have you got out there, American, that, you know, has got the top speed, not just bottles out at 100 mile an hour? That's what I want to know. Doing great, Andy. Thank you very much. Or is it just because in America you don't speed? Is that what it is? Dodge Hellcat. Right, okay. Camaro, here they come. Here they come. So are we talking like 150 mile an hour cars here? That's what I want to know. Because when you think about it, you go back to the days of, say, an RS Turbo, 128 mile an hour, flat out. Fiestas do that now. In the day, they were a very fast car, but when you actually look at it now, they weren't very fast, but it was in the time. But now it's very hard to speed. There's cameras everywhere. It's very, you know, not that I've ever done it, but there's cameras all over the place, and the roads are much busier, and you can't get the speed up, and the cars are actually quicker. Now they're talking about putting a speed limit on brand new cars in the UK, where cars will be limited to a maximum of like 70 mile an hour. The cars will automatically know which area they're in via GPS, so they won't be able to speed in areas that you won't be able to actually break the speed limit. Now, who the hell is going to buy an AMG Mercedes that can do 70 mile an hour? It's not going to work. Not going to work, is it? Let's be fair about it. All right, let's have a look. So we need to look at some of these. Some of the police Dodge Chargers can do 155. A friend of mine's actually got a Dodge Charger. He had it imported. It's about 2 years old, but he don't drive very quick. He just bought it because he likes them. Let's have a look. Mainly plant. Engine was in the back. It's in a Dodge Ram truck with a Viper engine. Pontiac GTO. See, look, here we go. So all you people, after you come off here and you want to see fast cars, now you know what you need to go and look for. There we go. Education lesson. So you know what you're searching for on YouTube now. Yeah, those RS8s, um, they can really, really move. They are a big engine and they are fast, because not far from here, the guy actually got done being, because he was filming it as well. That's the fastest anyone had actually been caught speeding at 187 mile an hour on a dual carriageway. I know that dual carriageway very well. I'll probably go down it 3 or 4 times a week, and the thought of doing that speed is absolutely ridiculous, to be honest with you. And it was being filmed, they was having a laugh, a joke about it, and like a fool, he put it on YouTube. Probably not the best thing to do that, because I think he ended up with 4 years in prison for it. Oh well, these things happen. If you're going to do things like that, you don't really put it all over social media. Not if you've got any sense. Evening, John. Right, okay. I said I weren't going to be long, and I've still got videos to finish and that, and it's approaching 9 o'clock. So Thank you all for joining. Talking about computers and cars. I think we did mention magnet fishing at the beginning, but it's been a while. We are out Sunday. We have not got a clue where we're going because we've left it to the last minute because I'm so busy. So for all you people with plenty of time on your hands, good luck to you. I've got no time. I should probably be up till about 2 o'clock in the morning again doing some editing, but that's my life. Hi Claire, bye Claire. No offence, nothing personal, but thank you all for joining. Don't forget we've got a premiere tomorrow at 9 o'clock, and that's when we went and met a load of crazy people. To be honest, with you. Loads of crazy people, and my God, it stank. But you get to see all that in the video. But we did have some quite nice finds, so especially one that's in my garden. You will see more on the video. So thank you for joining. 9 o'clock tomorrow. If not, we will see you Sunday for the live stream at 4 o'clock. We will be somewhere by a big puddle. I think they call it a river. And everyone, if you're going out the weekend, it's apparently going to be quite warm. So make sure you take plenty of fluids and have a great weekend. And thanks all for joining.